All right, everybody, welcome to FBS Analysis and Education channel. This is the NFP live trading stream. And what we're going to be doing today, in essence, is that we're going to be all together reviewing what the market conditions look like right about now. All right, in hopes that we will be able to catch or get in on some of the volatilities that will be coming in from from the NFP news release, which is in about 15 minutes. All right, which is in about 15 minutes. So get ready, keep your fingers active. All right, we're going to be doing a whole lot of breakdown right before or leading to the release of the NFP figures. All right, but nonetheless, you may already know me. My name is Adetola Freeman, and we're going to be looking into the markets quickly right about now. All right, so I'm going to start with USD chart, all right, the US dollar chart on the daily time frame. And if you follow the movements of the dollar up until now, all right, there's one interesting thing you must have noticed already by now. Okay, and that is the fact that US dollar is currently trading inside of this this channel. All right, it's currently trading inside of this channel. All right, and this consolidation, the expectation from this consolidation is that price comes back to this point, all right, so that we can come to the 100 moving average on the daily time frame. All right, thank you everybody. For those who are saying I, thank you. I can see you all. Accent, I can see you. Oyebanjo, I can see you. Martins, Animal World, Stanley, thank you. You're welcome, guys. So from the dollar chart on the daily time frame, I believe that we can clearly see that this channel is where we are at the moment. All right, Smart Money Concepts tells us that we've gotten a very clear break of structure over here. All right, downwards, which has also reflected over here. All right, we've gotten break of structure over there, and that has brought us into this supply zone on the daily time frame. All right, and that's interesting because from this point now, okay, the expectation is that price should come and make a low that is even probably lower than this, which is also corroborated by what we can all see already from this channel. All right, from this channel that price is forming. So the expectation is that the dollar comes all the way back down here. All right, so if the dollar is bearish, what does this mean? Yes, this is USD Index, So if the dollar is bearish, all right, what does this imply for traders like yourself, like myself, and everybody else? The answer is simple. Whenever the dollar is weak, all right, it means that commodities like gold, US 30, NASDAQ, and the likes, all right, they become bullish. And yes, Action, you are very correct. Action, you're very correct. All right. My bias also is that US 30 dollar, the gold, all right, and certain other indices would be bullish. All right. So now that we have gotten that cleared, it's important to check for entries, because beyond being correct, directionally right, all right, beyond being directionally right, it is important that you are also able to get in on the very best entry. All right. So for those of you who are watching right now, there's a poll over there. All right, you can just respond to the poll. All right, and then we'll see how this goes. All right. Welcome, David from Tanzania. So we're going to look into the commodities one by one. All right, the majors, the minors. We're going to take a look at them and then try to formulate a particular entry. All right, not just the bias. We've gotten the bias clearly that the dollar is bearish, all right, or at least it looks bearish from this point of view. Okay, so we're going to look for particular entry points on the commodities, starting with the majors. So let us start with Euro USD. All right, and I'm going to go to the 4 hours time frame because we're trying to look for the best entry points for a buy. All right, some of you may already know I am a smart money trader. All right, and that means that all of my analysis have to do with the smart money concept. All right, even though I have a strategy that is a very cool blend of both the the smart money concept and the retail concept. And of course, Omar, it's good to see you as well. It's good to see you once again. All right, so this is NFP release, and this is what our bias is going to look like. Remember, we're looking for buy opportunities on the majors. All right. However, I think that it's important to realize that there's a possibility that this equal lows, all right, becomes a liquidity zone, all right, becomes a point where liquidity can be taken out, so that prices come into this region, which is around if you can see those figures, let me quickly show you that clearly. 0.9668, all right, 0.9668, and between 0.9668 and 0.96339. All right, so if I were to take this trade, all right, if I were to take this trade, my stop loss would be somewhere around here. All right, like 0.9352, 0.9352 would be my stop loss region. All right, but let's quickly check on the daily time frame and see how this corresponds. All right, let's see how this corresponds. All right, Omar, we're going to look into that. Okay, so this is the daily time frame on Euro USD. All right, this is the daily time frame on Euro USD. I think we have 10 more minutes till the release. All right, and I'm basically expecting that based on what this looks like. All right, we have the 88.2. Let's see what the Luna looks like. So yes, we could see the euro drop a little bit lower. All right, maybe something along this line, all right, and then drop this way, all right, so that we can get a much better entry all the way to the top, somewhere around here. All right, so that's my preferred entry point. It will be somewhere around 0.9666. All right, 0.9666. So let's quickly take a look at the GBP USD. All right, let's take a look at GBP USD as well. Or let's do gold first. Gold 4 hours time frame. All right, so this is gold on the 4 hours time frame, and I believe that if we check it on the daily time frame as well, we see that price has made a clear distinction at this point on the daily time frame, indicating the possibility of a bullish movement. All right, the possibility of a bullish movement. So for me, I think what I would expect to see would be probably gold coming as far as this. All right, around 1709, or let me make this a bit larger. All right, so let's say 1697. All right, we could see gold come all the way up to 1697, take out all of this liquidity that has been gathered, all right, over here. All right, tap into this, then drop a bit lower. This is what I mean, using smart money concepts, that is. All right, drop a bit lower this way, and then we could see prices return even higher. Okay, so first of all, it's important that we wait to see how the release comes out. All right, because the release is what's going to determine whether or not our bias is actually very correct. All right, and we're going to have that those figures in the next 5 minutes or 7 minutes thereabouts. So let's keep our fingers crossed as we await that. Next, we're going to look at GBP USD. Okay, this is GBP USD. So daily time frame first. Okay, and let me click this. I remember there was a particular session I had recently where I was this is actually one of my articles on the FBS website. So if you do not follow the analytical articles on the website, I would advise that you do, all right, because most of those analysis or most of those biases usually play out. Okay, so you want to be sure that you have an informed decision regarding your trading. So this is GBP USD on the monthly time frame, and I talked about the fact that GBP USD was going to bounce off of this area because we can see the 1985 all-time low, and at the same time this trend line base. All right, so down to the daily time frame, I think what I would want to see would be prices coming into this region. All right, somewhere around here, which is between 1.0800, all right, 1.0800 and 1.0500. All right, so basically it's like saying we're expecting price to come this way. All right, take out this liquidity. All right, take out this liquidity, all right, that trend line liquidity, and then from there we can anticipate prices coming this way. All right, and this is provided that the dollar becomes as weak as we expect it to be. All right, that the dollar becomes as weak as we're expecting it to be. Remember that that bias is based on what I showed us on the daily time frame from the US dollar index. All right, and I recall that you know, we've talked about the fact that whenever the dollar is weak, all right, commodities like GBP USD, Euro USD, US 30, US 100, gold, all right, most of them gain some bullish impulse. All right, so for those of you who have been asking, dollar, is it buy or sell? All right, I think you have your answer already. Okay, so this is USD card on the daily time frame. You can see that currently price is reacting from this zone that I marked out. All right, and there is a huge possibility that price creates a new low. All right, there's a huge possibility that price creates a new low and breaks all the way down to this level. Okay, which is going to be about yeah, 170 pips. Okay, so we're going to wait for the news release. It's coming out in 4 minutes. All right, and then afterwards we'll come back to the charts and see how this plays. All right, but altogether my bias is still solidly bearish on the dollar. All right, AUD USD on the daily time frame. Let's do that quickly. AUD USD on the daily time frame. I think this would be my preferred point of entry. All right, let me see that on 4 hours. Oh yes, on the 4 hours, possibly we see liquidity taken out from here. All right, and then perhaps price comes lower. All right, maybe spikes lower. You know, there's going to be so much volatility, and then we get this buy. Or there's also the possibility that price just rallies all the way. All right, so Sylvester, you're asking how long does NFP last? I would say usually it's between 30 to 45 minutes after the release. All right, however, many times the NFP release tends to create a new market structure. What do I mean by that? Usually when you see the NFP release, all right, it comes with so much volatility that it tends to be able to shift the direction, the overall direction of the market, either from bearish to bullish or from bullish to bearish. All right, so that's why we're going to be taking the time to look at what the release looks like. All right, and if it breaks above any of the previous highs, then we'll be sure that yes, we are now in an uptrend. So even though NFP lasts about 30-45 minutes, it can usually set the trend, all right, for a new movement. Okay, so we're going to look at what this looks like in a few minutes. All right, and then we're going to see how this plays out. And for my friends from all over the world, from several of you who are saying hello and hi, it's good to have you here. Thank you for joining us on this live stream right about now. So the release is going to be in 1 minute. All right, I want everybody's eyes to be peeled on the chart right about now. All right, because a lot is about to go down in the market. We're about to see some intense volatility spring forth in the markets. All right, so let's see how this works. Okay, so for the non-farm employment change, I think we've seen the forecast is currently about 197,000, which is below the previous, but we just want to see what it looks like in reality. All right, not the forecast, the actual figures. Okay, and that's out already. I think that's released already. Yes, it's time. I'm trying to get the actual figures over here. All right, the figures are not out yet. But guys, keep your eyes open, keep your eyes focused on the charts. You can see the reaction has already begun. All right, the volatility is already taking place right about now. Okay, so yes, non-farm payroll came out stronger than expected, which means that the dollar would be bullish. All right, the dollar would be bullish, and that means that this bias is quite correct. All right, we'll see AUD, USD, and the likes sell lower, all right, into some of those regions, and then from there we can anticipate something else going down. All right, the non-farm employment change is higher, all right, but the employment rate is increasing. All right, so that means the dollar would be, the two releases are a bit contradictory, so we can expect the markets to dance around a little bit, all right, before it ends up settling down. You can see commodities like NZD, USD already reacting heavily, all right, even though we didn't analyze this earlier. So if you were to get an entry into NZD, USD, I think my advice would be to wait for price to maybe come somewhere around 0.577, all right, 0.577, and then you can formulate an entry from there. So let's quickly go back to the US dollar daily. All right, this is the 1 hour time frame, and like I said, all right, the dollar is going to come a bit higher, all right, and then drop. So let's see how that plays out in a few minutes. It hasn't gotten to my entries yet. All right, it hasn't gotten to my entries yet. So I'm expecting price to come all the way down here. All right, so once price gets down here for Euro USD, that would be my preferred entry point for a buy. And then let's look at gold as well, that we also talked about earlier. All right, so this is gold. All right, however, from what we've seen from the release, I think gold might decide to go in a different direction. Let me show you what direction gold might be looking at. Okay, so it could possibly do this. All right, react from the trend line instead. All right, instead of taking out liquidity from the trend line, it could react from the trend line this way. All right, then bring us to the entry point right over here. All right, so let's see how all of this play out in the few minutes. All right, like I said, NFP is usually 30 to 45 minutes. Okay, and the reason why the market is dancing around the way it is at the moment, all right, is because, as you can see, the non-farm employment is looking great. All right, the non-farm employment change is looking good, but the employment rate is also increasing. All right, and at the same time, we have the average hourly earnings that are still quite fishy. All right, although it's greater than what was expected, all right, but it's not, there's not much difference in those figures. All right, so let's see how this works. So the two figures are contradictory, and that is why we're having this. But nonetheless, what I would like to say to you guys is this. All right, provided that the NFP, as you can see, the volatility is not so strong. All right, and based on that, I can basically tell you, all right, I can categorically tell you that because the volatility is not that strong, it means that we're not going to be seeing a change in the market structure, in the general market structure, all right, which is good news for those of you that trade pure price action, all right, or those of you that trade market structure, all right, because what that means is that we're basically going to continue on the course of the current trend, as you have already seen. All right. Okay, so how about crude oil? The truth is, for crude oil, I may not be able to give you a particular entry on that right now. Okay, but I can assure you that it's going to still give you an entry that follows the overall market structure. All right, you're still going to get an entry that follows the overall market structure, so that you guys can get in on a trade, I want to quickly show you USD JPY. All right, this is USD JPY 4 hours time frame. Okay, and in situations like this, I sincerely just expect price to take out liquidity based on smart money concepts, that is. All right, take out liquidity from levels such as this. All right, take out liquidity from this kind of areas, and that would bring prices into this other block, which is a supply order block or a supply zone, and thereafter we can anticipate a drop in prices. Okay, so we're just going to wait this out and see how it flows. All right, I think I can see the confluence of a trend line over here. So if price is able to break through that and come into this other block, I would naturally be expecting some reaction. All right, I'll naturally be expecting some reaction. So I want to just quickly ask, okay, for those of you who are on the stream right about now, right? For those of you who are on the stream right about now, how many of you are familiar with smart money concepts? If you're familiar with smart money concepts, or if you're even interested in learning more about smart money concepts, breaks of structure, order blocks, liquidity grabs, shift in market structure, Quasimodo, and things like that. If you're interested in, following up on the whole smart money concepts of trading, all right, please just drop an emoji in the chat box so that I can quickly have an overview of how many of us that is, and I can personally put together content related to smart money concepts for you guys. All right, and you can also go through the website from time to time. There's always going to be articles that can assist you in your trading journey. All right, remember what I said, NFP is not giving us some solid movement right now. Okay, so that means that all of these entry points that I marked out earlier are literally going to play out. All right, they are literally going to play out. So like I said, don't rush it. All right, let the market come to you. Okay, let the market come to you. Don't rush it. All right, don't rush it. You can see that the market is playing according to my analysis. All right, so please and please do not rush it. All right, let the market by itself, of its own accord, give you an entry that is stress-free, all right, and absolutely good for you. Okay, so this is gold. We're expecting it to react from this trend line, all right, so that we can get a better entry from this other block over here. All right, and that's gold, and this is AUD USD. All right, like I said, AUD USD. We're expecting to see some reaction from here based on the fact that there's a supply zone coupled with the 200 moving average. All right, so we could see AUD USD come lower, all right, create this entry opportunity, and then we can buy from there. Okay, so for those of you who want to get in on trades like this, okay, what you want to do is when price gets to this zone, all right, this other block zone, which is around 0.64, around 0.6400, all right, you want to see price form something along this line. All right, you want to see price give you and these are hints based on smart money concepts. All right, you want to see price give you something like this, a tiny break of structure, all right, that leads us into the shift, all right, in structure from bullish to bearish. All right, this is also what we refer to as Wyckoff schematics. It's closely related to Wyckoff schematics for those of you who may be familiar with that already. Okay, so like I've said time and again concerning gold, do not rush into it, because as we have all said, all right, the NFP did not give us any serious volatility. It didn't give us any real volatility. All right, so it would be stupid to get trapped on this kind of a trade, all right, and lose your money unnecessarily. Okay, so this NFP didn't really move the market much. Okay, so the important thing is that you preserve your capital, and ensure that you're managing your risk as much as possible, right? Your risk is well managed as much as possible. Okay, so these are the kind of things that you guys are going to be learning how to do, all right, over the next couple of weeks or months, all right, over the next couple of weeks and months, all right. And I want to simply plead with you guys to stay tuned, all right. Follow every update assiduously, follow it energetically, bring your friends on board, let them come and learn for free how, you know, they can also analyze the markets profitably as professional traders, all right, and put an end to that cycle of consistent losses, of steady losses, all right. So please pay good attention to the markets. People who rush in, you know, it's like trying to catch a train while it's in motion, all right. There are chances that you're going to get hurt. Okay, the best way to get on board a train is to wait at the train station. Okay, and that is what your supply and demand levels represent. All right, your supply and demand levels literally represent the stations, all right, the train stations where price is going to stop over and say, okay guys, come on board. All right guys, come on board. So this is what is going to happen consistently all through the market. All right, for every action, all right, that's Newton's third law. For every action, there is an equal but opposite reaction. All right, so the same way, for every impulse, all right, there is usually a retracement. Okay, there's usually a retracement. So before you get in on this move, always wait for the retracement to play out. All right, and after the retracement has played out, it becomes even more profitable for you because your risk to reward ratio can be much more improved. All right, can be much more improved. So quickly, I'm going to be taking 3 questions, just 3 questions right about now. All right, so if you have a question and you're among the first 3 people to drop your question, I am going to be addressing those questions right here, right now. Okay, so let's get your fingers moving. All right, ask your questions and get your answers right away. Who's going to be first? Who's going to be first? All right, let's see. Just drop the questions in the comment section. All right, it's going to be addressed definitely. All right, how can you learn smart money concepts? Well, over the next couple of months, all right, I am going to personally be dropping some tips and nuggets that prepare you to trade smart money concepts. All right, we may not be able to go into as much detail as necessary. All right, but I am assuring you that I'm going to give you as many tips as possible to give you a broad foundation in the financial markets relating to smart money concepts. Okay, when will gold recover? I don't know what you mean by recovery, all right, but I am guessing you are asking when will gold resume its bullish trend. All right, yes, I believe that the dollar will become weak towards the end of the year. All right, for those of you that are asking, I believe you already can see my gold chart. The arrows are there, all right, clearly indicating what I expect the markets to do. All right, so just follow the arrows, all right, and you would see or understand what I expect, what my bias on gold actually is. Okay, and to respond to you, Great Sound, I believe strongly that the gold is most likely going to lose some ground towards the end of the year. All right, towards the end of the year. And just Forex, trading news, fundamental trading, is it okay? I would say it's a two-way thing. All right, it's important that you get to see what is going on there, all right, once the news is released, because it prepares you for what the market is trying to do. All right, however, it is important that even after you have seen the release, all right, you've gotten to know what the market is trying to do, you must be able to figure out your own point of entry. All right, you must be able to figure out your own point of entry. All right, Evan, let me quickly answer that question. I already explained why the market is not really responding as much right now. And my explanation was the fact that there were 3 news releases for gold, all right, for dollar, all right. There are 3 news releases for the dollar, all right. two of them came out positive and one of them came out negative. All right, and as a result of that contradiction, all right, there's going to need to be a bit of a tussle before the market finally decides on what direction it will head, all right, on what direction it will be going. Okay, so let's see how this plays out in the next few hours. All right, I would naturally advise that you give yourself some breathing space. All right, allow the markets to literally come to you, as I've said a couple of times already. Okay, so my point of entries would be point of interest. All right, for those of you who are talking smart money concepts. All right, here. All right, something around here. Okay, now before we wrap up for this session, all right, before we wrap up this session, I am just going to show you guys a strategy. Okay, a very simple strategy that you can start applying. It's not a smart money strategy per se, all right, but I think it's a strategy that has done me well in the past couple of years. Okay. Okay, Evan, let me quickly answer your question before I show that strategy. You see, when there is fundamental release for two currencies, all right, and the two currencies have the exact same releases, all right, whether both of them are strong or both of them are weak, what I usually advise is that you avoid such commodities. Okay, USD card, for example, all right, we can see that the dollar had some positive news releases. If the Canadian dollar also has positive news releases, all right, which means that both of them are getting stronger, it would not be advisable to still try to get in on a trade on that commodity. All right, it would be best to look for say USD NZD, all right, AUD USD, all right, AUD card, NZD USD or NZD card. All right, so you can literally diversify your portfolio in that instance, right? As it's going to give you a much better foundation or a much better framework. All right, so let's quickly go into that strategy. It's a 5-minute trading strategy. All right, for those of you who are intraday traders, like I'm sure or like I'm certain that many of us already are. All right, it's an intraday strategy that helps you at least take a few pips off the market one at a time. All right, what you want to do with this is to use one oscillator, all right, and your 200 moving average. All right, that's all you need. One oscillator and then your 200 moving average. Okay, so how does this strategy work, or how does this approach work? The answer is simple. You're literally looking for areas of convergence, divergence that are happening on top of or very close to the 200 moving average. All right, let's take this example okay, this is 15 minutes. You can see that on the MACD, which is the moving average convergence divergence, you can see that we are having lower highs on the MACD. All right, however, we are having higher highs on price. All right, the price chart is giving us higher highs, whereas the MACD is giving us lower highs. All right, and this is a classic example of what we refer to as a divergence. Okay, and what do you notice? You discover that immediately after price breaks back below the moving average, all right, immediately price breaks back below the moving average, you got this swing movement. All right, this movement was about let's quickly check. Yes, that was about 200 pips on GBP USD. All right, let me show you a couple more examples so you guys know that what we're talking about here is solid. We would not be taking a trade here because, as you can see, the divergence is not so clear, and you can also see that the moving averages, price bought to the moving averages a little bit, but didn't really give any solid movement. Instead, this would have been a better trade to take. All right, this scenario here, we can see price making higher highs, all right, and then the MACD is making lower highs, all right, and once price broke back below the moving average, all right, you can literally take your trade. All right, this was about yes, 58 pips. All right, so this is one of the systems or one of the strategies that you can begin to implement. All right, and over the next couple of days, all right, or next week, all right, I'm going to be dropping a YouTube video that details this strategy. All right, that video is going to show you in details how this strategy works and how you can take advantage of this strategy. So if you would really love that, can I see you drop an emoji in the chat box, or just type hi in the chat box, all right, or in the comment section, so that I know how many of you are interested in following up on that video. Yes, it is definitely going to be on the YouTube channel here. All right, so you want to stay close and watch how that happens. All right, beautiful, 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 beautiful. It's good to see that you guys are interested. So expect that video. It's going to be dropping on the channel anytime soon. All right, so in order not to miss that release, you want to be sure to ensure that you are subscribed to the channel and you have the notification bell clicked. All right, so that when that video drops, as soon as that video drops, you will be among the very first people to be notified and to get access to that video. So, all right, without further ado, I want to say a big thank you to everybody who has joined us on this particular stream. All right, my name is Adetola Freeman Obunkole, and I am a Nigerian. It's been amazing having you guys join us on the stream today, and I look forward to seeing you guys again very, very soon. Okay, till then, have a fantastic trading day. Don't forget, manage your risk as though it's all that you have. All right, because the only thing you can control in the financial markets is your risk. Every other factor is controlled by price. All right, so that single factor that you can control, be sure to control it to the best of your abilities. All right, so have a fantastic one. I wish you all a fantastic trading session this week, next week, and for the rest of your trading career. See you when next I see you. Bye-bye.